as interesting week in FPL was all our
Right.
hopes and everything which we had on the United guys, they gave it back. Apart from that, you had a crazy week getting in Gusto for his mega haul. So talk us through your
Right.
transfers and what was your thinking.
Yeah, so for me, I thought I should have a 4.0 midfielder because Gabriel was not playing for me, and I didn't want to play the Luton or the Burnley defenders because they had tough games. So I saw an opportunity, and I think we had a discussion. Gusto is definitely a short-term punt, but like I discussed in the start of the season, that I want to get on to these kind of short-term funds and to back teams which have good fixtures by tripling up on them or at least doubling up on them. So that's when I thought I'll take in Gusto, and surprisingly, out of nowhere, he gave two assists. And Chelsea, probably this is the first clean sheet of the season. So overall, I was really lucky to get those 14 points out of Gusto, and Chilwell also could have scored. He passed the ball from the penalty spot to the right side to Sterling, which eventually got deflected and went out. So overall, I'm glad that I kept faith in Bruno, Rashford, Saka, who people were thinking of shipping out. Yeah. So right now, that's how it is. We'll come to the transfers after we discuss your plans for the game week.
Same thing with me. Gabriel wasn't playing for me, but I opted. There were two, three options: City defense, Arsenal defense. Uh, Thinking about three Chelsea players was never my thought process. I couldn't get around it having two Chelsea defenders, so I wasn't never looking at the Gusto pick. But as Saliba, because I thought he is again an instrumental piece in that Arsenal defense, and they have looked strong apart from the few mistakes which they have done. But yes, looks like he could be an option which we can hold long term. So that was the first transfer, and the second transfer was Watkins out to Jackson, which wasn't a big difference, but yes, again setting the team for the great fixture run which they have, and now that has paid off. Even if it was 2 point gain, but yes, it was. And the Fernandez for both of us, Fernandez points were very crucial, which made us jump a lot of places from where we would have been if we would have sold them. So apart from now, was the main dilemma this week is a lot of midfielders popping up. The names of Bowen, Mbeumo, Foden, Sterling, and Maddison. Right, those are the main names, and there are a lot of names which are going out of the uh, transfer, like out of the main spot. So Mitoma is the one. Mitoma has a higher XA but no XG, which we have seen in the first three game weeks. Again, he's looked like more of a creator, so that's the name. In Bruno and Rashford, both again they were very lucky this time around, but we have seen they could be in such games. But again, the next game is against Arsenal, who is a relatively strong team. While same we can talk about Saka Martinez. So this is the main. A lot of template teams have this five midfield. So who would you be taking out if you had to take out, like who? What would be your order to take out?
So, like I discussed, we thought Arsenal and United had a couple of good games in the right from the off, and from last year, these were the teams that we knew would build on on the season that they had already. So that's why we had two players each from both the teams. But now, after uh, performances that we have seen, both sides don't look like they are in the peak of their performance, because both sides are trying to figure out things. And so that's why I think it's time to ship out one from each, probably hold Saka and one of Bruno Fernandes and Rashford. Most people are taking out Martinelli, Mitoma, probably for good reason, because you can see that Mbeumo has a good run of fixtures. He is the talisman of the side. Maddison is another player who is eyeing for that space in our team, and also the emergence of Sterling, who looks really good in the short term with the fixtures that they have right now, and probably better pick than Jackson right now. for those who have not brought Jackson in. So for me, if I had three transfers, I would definitely take out Mitoma. Um I did take out Mitoma and Fernandez ahead of the tough run of fixtures for both the sides, and I brought in Maddison and Sterling. But then, if I had one more transfer, I would have taken out Martinelli and got in Mbeumo as well. But then Martinelli against a United side without Varane sounds appealing for me, and he might haul in the coming game week. So that's what I think might happen. So that's why I'm not taking a hit and changing things drastically. Anyways, you will want to have one player from each side. So Saka definitely is a no-brainer. One of Bruno Rashford. For me, I took out Bruno Fernandes also for the fact that if I wanted to because he's 8.5 and Rashford is 9. I can always go back to Bruno Fernandes, but if I spread around the cash from Rashford, then it's difficult for me to go back to Rashford. So that's why I thought, because him playing in the left side also makes him very appealing. So for the tough run of fixtures, I have decided to choose him over Bruno Fernandes.
So similarly, Mitoma going out for me as well, and I will be taking a -4 this time around. Looks like the only difference is Hose has gone for Maddison. I will be going for Foden. There was an initial thought Maddison again, yes, but City play against Fulham, and we know Fulham the way they have been playing defensively. There is a hall potential. Now a lot of managers were burned last week, but we saw what the reason was is a illness. The assistant coach mentioned it after the City game, so I think Foden will be ready to start the next game this game week. So that's why I'm placing my bets on him. And apart from that, Sterling. So the only difference between Sterling, Foden, and Madison is the ceiling Sterling and Foden have. That's the only reason. We know Madison will have the 90 odd minutes, whole 90 minutes, very crucial in the way Spurs are playing the centerpiece. But yes, the ceiling is not there. I feel for Madison. I could be wrong, but on paper, logically, the two best punts and high ceiling players are Foden and Sterling. Like you, I would be going for Martinelli. Looks like, because again Arsenal play a high line, and we know how United team can get the better of those teams who play high line, right? And Bruno Fernandes is in a good form. The stats also are on his favor. So the only option was probably going out for Rashford instead of Martinelli. But again, United have a good run of fixtures in just 1 or 2 game weeks. So I want Rashford for that run of fixture as well, is what my initial thought is. So -4 for Foden, Sterling, going out for Mitoma, Martinelli. This could change if there is some other news or something like that. Then we could think about other midfielders. But as of now, that is the transfers which we are thinking. Host, just to sum it up, your top five midfielder choice in order, or top three.
For
Let's see,
me,
top three.
Saka,
No, no, not
Rashford.
from the
Uh,
not from the template midfield. The
oh,
Foden
from
going
the
out.
outside of the top three. For me, I think the safe. I'll go safe right now because it's the start of the season. I wouldn't go for a Bowen. For me, it's going the order. It would be Sterling, Madison, and Foden and Madison. Three.
Sterling, Foden, and Madison. Right. For me, the order is, I feel Foden, and then there is a debate between Sterling, Madison. But I rate Foden this week highly the way I saw the game. So that is the order for me. Yes, whatever transfers we'll make, we'll let you know on our social medias. And the league code is mentioned on the screen. If you haven't joined our league, you can join in by using the league code. And host, the captain is Haaland, right? We won't be going
Yeah,
anywhere else.
definitely.
Yes, captain both of us is Haaland. Yes.